Okay, hello everybody again. I looked at the recording and it was again really blurry. If that is the way you saw things, it's useless. So I decided to kind of redo this. And anyway, this is the piece I was demonstrating, and I think now you can at least see how I have put the light stuff in here. And how with the stippling movement with the brush, sponge, and how things are still open and it's all like so I get a nice texture here with the lights and the darks and so forth. And this was the other one here, those little dots, the other sponge I had that I showed you, which I don't think anyone saw that before. And this section here, remember, that was when I just wiped it with the sponge to get like a nice gray tone, and then I went in with the ink, and it kind of sort of runs into the wet sections and whatnot. Here is where I had my tape, and then I went in around that little stalk of something here, whatever, to keep that white. And then you can, if you do it really carefully, you can go in, match the color, so it will fit in all of this kind of stuff. So what I'm going to do, I don't want to start all over again, so you kind of saw what I did, except that you couldn't see it, but I'm pretty sure you see it sharp now, at least I hope so. And I'm just going to continue on this piece just to show you what I did one more time. The thing is, like when you have it like this, you can actually use all the lighter tones, and if you like those, you can mask some of them out and say, okay, I want to keep that. Like for example here, that little weird guy that I have. I'm gonna use a different tape now. But basically, this is the way I told you before. If you wanted, like what I did here, where you want to keep something white, you want to put tape first before you do anything. And I'm just going to put some random tape here on some areas for demonstration purposes. Okay, and okay, maybe one more here, whatever. Or there. Whoops, this doesn't stick. Okay, yeah, more tape. So, there. Alright. Okay. So now I'm just going to go a little darker because I started with very light tones here. As you see, these are all kind of light grays, and here's a full black or so there, but overall it's still quite light, the whole thing. So again, here's the sponge thing I'm using, and my nib, obviously. Water just to thin things down with, and brush and my ink. Okay, so let's continue on this one then, so you should be able to see that now what I'm going to do. So I decided I'm just going to go really a lot darker here. So I'm going to, with the stippling motion, right, like this, and to add some more texture. So now you see, like, you don't need to mask things out if you do it carefully around things, which is what I'm trying to do. Be careful. That's why you want to cut your sponge too into a little, don't use a whole sponge, because that would be a little tricky to manipulate and to handle, especially when you do more careful detailed things here. Okay, but you see, I still have my light, and I now have some kind of bush or whatever. I'm just playing around here. Okay. Again, when you do the wiping, I'm gonna just wipe it here just to show you how it kind of darkens everything up. But if you want to go and darken certain sections, you can certainly wipe things, like what I'm doing here now, to make that darker. Or not. Okay, and now I'm going to go over this section here a little, and you will see how everything around it. Okay, so once your ink doesn't do anything anymore, obviously, then you need to get more ink on your brush, sponge. I keep saying brush, sorry. Sponge. Okay, so I'm gonna go in around here and around this thing here. Okay, I'm gonna make this even a little darker. And this whole thing, wipe a little. And I might want to have this a little darker also. Okay, see now here I have a little bit much water in there, so I still just get a light tone. But you can see how the values and how the atmosphere, the light and dark, the chiaroscuro, what I mentioned earlier in class, how it gets stronger. So, and I can keep going over things. Of course, I need more ink again. Okay. And I want to tone this whole side down here of my orange, or whatever that was. Okay. Just really taking it down a bit. More texture on the bottom. Get a little drama in this thing. Okay. And I'm going to go over this again here, make this even darker. So you can see I can keep modifying things and working on adjusting my values while still keeping my texture and my lighter tones. Now I'm going to show you, so once you take this off now, see here, this section should have remained with the lighter tones. And there it is. Yep. And here's that one. Okay. Alright, see, because I like the little guy, it looks like a little guy running. I like that. So, now I can go in there and actually modify that a little. So if I want to have this a running guy, I can go in with my nib and make that a little more defined. Let's have him have an arm in front and a head, whatever, and throw a little shadow or something, whatever. Okay. So now I have this now on an angle here, so it doesn't work as well with the nib, as you may notice. It doesn't run as well. So it's usually better to use ink on a flat surface, or if you do it like on an angle, like now, if I turn it around, like what I just did, my nib, so that the ink can sink down more, it works better. Otherwise, it doesn't really run all that well. Okay. So now you can do, like, depending on, again, what your image will be, you can do as much detail as you want or as you need and work on that. Okay. I can also now go, you know, that's how you want to use the wash too. Like if you can theoretically now, let's say, go in here and go in with a brush, and I'm just going to repeat this shape here a little, and then go up to here and get a really dark, right, and I'm going to get a really dark here, and so forth. And even go a little darker here again. But once you go really dark, there's no going back. So this is it then. That makes sense, right? Yep. Okay. All right. I think you got the idea, sort of like what I've done. And now that you see it better, you see the textures and all this kind of stuff that's going on, and you can work on your piece as long as you need to. But this is an assignment that really, as I said, it needs some planning, and you want to spend at least three hours on this. I'm sorry, this is just going to be longer assignment. So now Jamila asked earlier if I could show again with the water what I've done there, and I'm gonna just do that here on the bottom. So what you do, you just go with a clean brush and you put water down anywhere you want it, and then you dip your nib into this and you see how the ink sort of spreads out around in it and does some nice things where it's wet. Alright, see, even just little dots kind of spread out and become more like almost like stars or something, like you know, something more organic and softer and whatnot. So if I had done this line here on, like if I would do it on the dry surface, then all I would have here is a line like this, right? But I wouldn't have this nice blurred, you know, organic type line. Okay, I hope that helps. I will post this on YouTube and send you guys the link. And there we go. Have fun with your project, and remember to send me your ideas for what you want to do. Okay, thank you. Bye, everybody.